Hello YouTube, I'm Connor, and today we are going to take a look back at the iPhone 5. The iPhone 5 was announced and released in September of 2012. It was the second iPhone to be released after the passing of Steve Jobs, and is actually said to have been the last iPhone Steve Jobs had put any thought into. The iPhone 5 has a modern design that still holds up today. The device's colors were originally offered as silver or slate, but later as silver or space gray because the slate color scratched too easily. Its boxy aluminum shell with diamond-cut chamfered edges still looks really modern today. The device is still great to hold, and a lot of people actually miss the days of smaller screen-sized smartphones. In fact, Apple actually used this design all the way up until the discontinuation of the iPhone SE in September of 2018. Wait, what? Oh, scratch that, I guess. The final iteration of the design was seen with the discontinuation of the iPhone SE in January of 2019, assuming Apple doesn't decide to use it yet again. Moving on to its specs, while in comparison to smartphones today, they are completely terrible, but we're actually way ahead of the game back in 2012. It has a 4-inch Retina display with a resolution of 1136 by 640 and a DPI of 326. While we take nice looking displays for granted today, the Retina display was still fairly new in 2012 and blew other manufacturers out of the water. The iPhone 5 is also equipped with a 1.3 GHz dual-core processor and 1 GB of RAM. These two hardware features alone actually help the iPhone 5 receive support from Apple for 5 generations of iOS. The storage on it was offered in 16, 32, and 64 GB variants. Finally, its rear-facing camera is an 8-megapixel iSight sensor with a single LED flash capable of taking video up to 1080p at 30 FPS, while its front-facing camera is a 1.2-megapixel camera capable of taking video up to 720p at 30 FPS. Testing out the rear-facing camera, while it is blatantly obvious that you are not using an iPhone XS, it is still completely usable in 2019. Its optimal setting is using natural light to shine on your foreground because when you have bright light in the background, its exposure darkens a lot. And its low light performance is abysmal due to its single LED flash not being bright enough to see objects clearly in the dark. Its video quality is also not the best because you can definitely notice the pixelation when recording video on the iPhone 5. On the flip side, its front-facing camera is just okay. Its photos are at a low resolution, and because it does not have the Retina flash function, you cannot take selfies in the dark. Overall, using the iPhone 5 in 2019 is surprisingly not bad. Even though its life cycle ended on iOS 10.3.3, the iPhone 5 is still able to do most of the things current iPhones are able to do. For example, most apps are still compatible with iOS 10, but be warned, support will probably be dropped for iOS 10 once iOS 13 is released. The built-in Safari web browser is still able to load all web pages, and built-in features like iMessage, AirDrop, and iCloud are still 100% functional. Now, don't expect the performance of this device to be just like newer iPhones, because it's not. It is definitely noticeable that the iPhone 5 takes a few moments longer to load apps, and the system animations can stutter at times. However, the iPhone 5 does offer a much nicer experience on iOS 10 than the iPhone 4S offers on iOS 9. Benchmarking this device using Geekbench 4, the iPhone 5 scores a 1,258 multi-core score and a 770 single-core score. This number is about 1/11 of the performance of the iPhone XS. The device also scores a 60,753 in Antutu, which is significantly less than the iPhone XS's score of 347,703. However, these numbers don't necessarily translate over into system performance. Taking a look at Minecraft, the device is able to run smoothly even on Minecraft's latest version. Also, Snapchat is still up to date on the iPhone 5, but it does take a little bit longer to load images and stories. Finally, and most importantly, since the device runs iOS 10, it can still run outdated 32-bit apps, which means you can still play Flappy Bird. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe. Also, leave a comment down below if you or someone you know still uses an iPhone 5 in 2019.